Throughout centuries, superstition has played a big part in both literature and history. Why is this important?
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Superstition is important in history and literature because some people actually truly believe in it and it's almost a way of lifestyle for them.
Superstition is important in literature because it adds suspense to stories and includes the audience more and grabs their attention.
Superstition has been a huge part of history, and it's been around and carried out through many cultures and even carried on through today.
Superstition has been a huge part of history because lots of historical events have happened because of it, such as the Salem witch trials. Also, today, things are believed in to be superstitious, like Friday the 13th.
Superstition has always been a part of our history and it always will be.
Okay, that's fine.
By studying the flaws of ancient societies, we can think of ways to further improve our society today.
Without literature, we wouldn't understand how society was before our time.
Always be true.
Literature explains morals and beliefs in historical times that may not always be true.
History is important because it gives us insight on how we should run our society today.
Literature and history are important because they show us where we've been and how our culture was.
Olympias's cult.
Alexander the Great's mom was Olympias, and she had a lot to do with supernatural happenings. It was believed that she was in many different cults, and she actually, her old name was Polyxena or Myrtle, and she was believed to change her name to Myrtle because of one of her cults. Her new name actually was linked to the Samothrace cult. It was kind of a coming-of-age ceremony, and it was probably dedicated to Aphrodite. She was definitely associated with the Orphic and Bacchic rites, and the Orphic is where she was capable of casting a spell or charm, which would be linked to witchcraft and supernatural happenings. And her Bacchicness meant that she honored Bacchus, the god. Her husband, Philip II, suspected that she was having sexual relations with a god, but that god was in the form of a snake, and a lot of people just thought that that had something to do with one of her many cults she was. Olympias had a lot to do with the god Dionysus. He had a festival where they would do, it was just a big celebration, and they actually got so crazy that they were forbidden by the Senate. And there's a quote, and it goes like this. After this, feeding by milk like the newborn, which is followed by manifestations of joy, crowns, and something similar to an ascent towards the gods. This was most likely part of one of her cults, and the act of drinking the milk was being like a newborn as like a symbol of rebirth, and it also might have had something to do with Dionysus, and they were initiated into the cult.
Awaken!
This is a quote from one of her cults, and it reads, "You have just died and have just been born, thrice happy on this day. Tell Persephone that Bacchus himself has liberated you. A bull, you leapt into the milk. Swift, you leapt into the milk. A ram, you fell into the milk. You have wine, a happy privilege, and you will go under the earth once you have accomplished the same rites as the other happy ones." When the author of this poem talks about the milk, it's referring to the initiation and like the offerings that they had in their cults.
Please accept my sacrifice.
We accept your sacrifice.
No one exactly knows if these rites were performed at a funeral or at initiation.
Ghost in Macbeth.
Ghosts have been a big part of superstitions throughout history. Some examples are Shakespeare's play Macbeth and in ancient Rome. In Macbeth, the main ghost in the story is Banquo's ghost, and he visits Macbeth in his castle after Macbeth hires the murderers to kill him. And some can say that it was mind torture, that Macbeth was seeing the ghost, or if it was actual supernatural. The ghost disappeared and reappeared throughout the scene also.
Well, I feel kind of guilty for killing Banquo.
Hey, Macbeth, come sit down.
Yes, sit down, right, Macbeth.
There's no empty seats.
What are you talking about? Right here.
Just sit down.
I can't. There's someone there.
Who? No one's there.
Oh, you must not be feeling well. Just sit down, sit down. No, in your chair.
There's someone there. Ghost in Rome.
There has been also a lot of superstitions about ghosts in ancient Rome. They were believed to roam in all kinds of dark places, and they're often visited by the ghost, and it would be at a house that a scene of a crime or murder had been committed.
You have committed a crime in this house, and now you must pay.
The dagger.
Dun dun dun.
In Macbeth, there is a dagger that is floating in the air, and it is superstitious because people can argue if it was just a figment of his imagination, or if it was actual, like a supernatural happening. In the story, it was guiding him to Duncan's room, the king, and pressuring him to kill Duncan. So it kind of like was messing with his head, and so you can't argue if it was actually in his head or something that was actually there, and so that's what makes it superstitious.
Macbeth. Is this a dagger before mine eyes? What is this you say? You want me to kill King Duncan? Lead me to his room. Wait for me. Duncan.
In Rome, Romans also believed that objects or living beings could possess special spiritual properties, was widespread in primitive societies. Romans were no strangers to this idea. Stones, trees, springs, caves, lakes, swamps, mountains, even animals and furniture were all deemed to be hosts to these spirits.
Rome.
Why is the furniture upside down?
The apparitions.
In Macbeth, there are 3 witches that produce some kind of potion from their boiling cauldron that produces 3 apparitions. The first one is a floating head with armor, and it tells Macbeth to beware of Macduff.
An armed head? Beware Macduff!
The second apparition that the witches produce is a bloody child, and it tells Macbeth that no one born from a woman is going to hurt him. However, Macduff wasn't born of a woman, technically. His mom had a C-section.
No one born of a woman will harm Macbeth.
The final apparition that the witches made was a crowned child with a tree branch in his hand. And he told Macbeth that he should be worried if Birnam Wood ever moved to Dunsinane.
You should be worried if Birnam Wood ever moved to Dunsinane.
Apparitions in Rome.
In Rome, there is one major apparition called the Apparition Meridian, and it occurs in Paris in 1830, and 18 appearances occur. The apparitions arrive to Roman Catholics with extensive messages for popes and pilgrims alike.
The witches.
Witchcraft has been around for centuries, and in Macbeth, they gave prophecies to Macbeth, and they cursed people and tortured them, and they were also very manlike.
The witches in Macbeth.
Devil, devil, toil and trouble.
fire burning cauldron baba.
In Rome, witches would go around and take dead bodies and mutilate them. And they were also half man, half beast, and they were linked to monsters on stormy nights, like Hecate.
The witches in Rome.
Let's dig up these poor souls and feast on their limbs.
Hecate.
Hecate was the ruler of all witches in ancient Rome. She was the goddess of magic and the night. Hecate controlled apparitions that ancient Romans thought that they saw. Her passage was usually accompanied by thunder or weird noises.
Hecate in Rome.
Look, read it, Hecate.
Ah!
It's an apparition.
Ah! Wow! In Macbeth, the ruler of all the witches was named Hecate instead of Hecate. She tricked Macbeth into believing he was safe when she showed him the apparitions that revealed the truth wrapped in lies. Hecate is very knowledgeable. She says security is mortal's chiefest enemy.
Hecate in Macbeth.
How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death?
Bloopers.
Mr. Mason.
I thought you didn't like the camera.
You know.
Thought you
We
didn't
got it
like
on
the
our computer
camera.
now.
Jared, get out of the.
It'll be in our video.
Okay, just go.
Oh, wait, that way. Excuse me, Jameson. Dance.
It looks like I'm bald.
Yeah.
I'm videoing.
Witches and witchcraft. Witch.
Throughout history, there have been many.
In ancient Rome, the ruler of all witches. No, wait, no! I don't know what to say.
Can you do the can you do the can you do the can.
The furniture upside down.
I have a good time in high school.
Hey, I thought of literature and history. Why does it matter? You should I don't know. Did it look real?
No.
I don't know why it's I know it's important.
It's a reflection.
Good morning,
Yeah,
Joe.
right.
Just kidding.
How you doing today?
Tell us a little bit about
Better get on
yourself.
task.
We're done.
That camera
We're
gets
waiting for
involved.
candy.
Are you happy today?
He doesn't like.
And cut.